She beats her husband every day, in the heart of Enugu, where the new meets the old like okpa and cappuccino in the same breakfast tray, lived a woman named Adaobi, whose beauty turned heads and whose voice, even in whispers, commanded attention. A daughter of courage soil and cultured in the jazz of modern Igbo urbanism, Adaobi was the kind of woman whose presence changed the air in any room she entered. Educated in soccer, savvy in tech, and running her own digital PR farm out of a high-rise in Independence layout, Adaobi was a symbol of everything the new Igbo woman aspired to be: fierce, fashionable, fearless. But what made her infamous wasn't her firm's millionaire clients or her loud Ankara pantsuits that shimmered like rebellion. It was that she beat her husband every day. Yes, every blessed day, as surely as the sun struck Ogui Road at noon, Adaobi beat her husband, Chijioke. Now Chijioke wasn't a weak man, oh no. Born in Oka but raised in New Haven, he had the calm confidence of a man who knew himself. A software developer with a mind as sharp as a razor's tip and eyes that always seemed to be laughing at a joke only he knew, Chijioke was the kind of man who brewed fresh coffee every morning and left sticky notes of encouragement on the mirror. He adored Adaobi like the lyrics of a high-life love song. They were that couple that posted coordinated pictures in Dubai, that argued about feminism over wine but kissed in traffic at ShopRite Junction. So, when word began to spread that she beat him daily, tongues wagged like market women chasing change. He must be a mumu, said one. Maybe she used juju, whispered another. But truth, like a goosey, has layers. The first beating happened 3 months into their marriage. Adaobi had lost a major client due to a sabotage she traced to a close friend. Enraged, humiliated, and shaking with fury, she came home like a storm. Chijioke, sensing something was off, didn't ask questions. He simply drew her into their plush velvet couch and pulled out their wedding playlist. "Dance it out," he said. And she did. Flailed, screamed, twisted, stomped. Chijioke danced too, dodging her dramatic moves, laughing. She cried in his arms, but the tension in her muscles had melted. From that day, beating became their code word, a ritual. Whenever Adaobi felt the word pressing too hard, Chijioke would say, "Eneni, time to beat me," and they would spar in their gym room or jump around to Afrobeat, shadowbox by their balcony, shout poetry, and laugh until their problems shrunk like a goosey left in the sun. But neighbors don't understand inside jokes. One neighbor in their estate, an elderly woman who wore suspicion like perfume, heard Adaobi shout one evening, "Today I will beat you blue and black," and saw Chijioke with a limp the next morning from leg day at the gym, as it turns out. She called a family meeting. Chijioke's parents drove down from Oka, horrified. Adaobi's mother, Mama Oluchi, was quiet. She knew her daughter too well to panic. "Ada beats me," Chijioke confirmed, smiling. The room fell silent like the last note of a dirge. Then he explained. At first, they were scandalized. But by the time he was done, they were laughing. "You people are mad," his father muttered, chuckling. But the story escaped again, twisting each time it was told, until even people who never met Adaobi spoke of her like folklore. A city woman with fist for breakfast. An MBA graduate with the aggression of Amedioha. Yet the truth beneath was far more interesting. Adaobi had grown up watching her father slap her mother when the yam wasn't soft enough, when her voice was too loud, or when he was just in a mood. Mama Oluchi bore it all with a grace that made Adaobi sick. She vowed never to be small for any man. But Chijioke never asked her to be. He celebrated her loudness, her stubbornness, her energy. "Your fire is my warm blanket," he once said, chuckling as she argued with a police officer who tried to arrest a street hawker. He loved her exactly as she came, scars, spikes, and all. Their daily beating evolved. Sometimes it was a boxing match with oversized gloves in their living room. Other days, it was Adaobi pacing their flat, yelling her frustrations about misogyny in corporate spaces while Chijioke listened with his chin on her shoulder. Sometimes they play-wrestled until they collapsed, laughing. The beatings were symbolic, her way of purging pain. His way of holding space for her. Adaobi didn't beat Chijioke in anger, she beat him in trust. And he took it because he knew the difference between violence and vulnerability. The story climaxed one day when Adaobi, nominated for a global award in tech PR, gave a TED-style talk at Coal City Convention Center titled "BT My Husband Saved Our Marriage." The hall was packed. Eyebrows raised. Cameras rolled. Adaobi stood in Ankara pants and a leather blazer, with Chijioke in the front row, grinning like an accomplice. She spoke of trauma, of inherited silence, of love that makes room for healing in weird, wild ways. She spoke of men who hold space instead of power. Of redefining what strength looks like in a woman. When she said, "My husband lets me beat him every day, not with fists but with freedom," the hall erupted in applause. By the time she finished, the story had transformed from scandal to symbol. Their home became a safe space for couples struggling to communicate. They ran weekend retreats, the beating house where couples did everything from paintball fights to pillow duels, all as metaphors for emotional expression. And behind it all was a deeper truth, that love isn't about who leads or submits, but who stays when it gets noisy. In Enugu, where gossip is currency, the story changed again.